Hi, my name is Jereme Wilroy, and I'm a graduate student here. I did my undergrad degree here in exercise science, and now I'm doing my graduate work in health studies. My talk is entitled Progressively Adapting. Progressively adapting is the idea that certain situations and circumstances arise in our life that calls for us to change. Maybe to learn new knowledge or develop a new set of skills, or simply to do things differently. This change that occurs over an extended period of time in incremental ways that we can only really see when we have time to look back and see where we were and to see where we are now. This process is called adaptation. Adapt is to make something suitable for a new use or purpose, to become adjusted to new conditions. This new use or purpose could be that you're graduating from college and you're entering the workforce. And so you are becoming a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or a nurse. These new conditions can be new environments that you're in, whether it is in the college environment or in the workforce environment, perhaps getting married or something like that. It could also be some negative events in your life. It could be your parents just got divorced, or you were in a freak accident rendering you to a wheelchair. These are these new conditions. Mahatma Gandhi said it this way: adaptability is not imitation. It means power to resistance and assimilation. And so adaptability is not just the conforming to those around you or conforming to your environment and in that losing yourself, but it's fully understanding your environment, fully understanding that purpose that you were created for, that position that you've been put in, so that you can become proficient in that. For me, my story of adapting began on August 31st of 2005. It was after Hurricane Katrina came through, and I went with my dad and my brother down to clean up at my grandma's house in Grand Bay, Alabama. As we were down there cleaning up debris from the hurricane and cutting down some trees, I found myself pushing on a tree to help make it fall a certain way, and it fell back over on top of me. I was underneath the tree with it pinning me down, my head between my knees, and gasping for air. It was a miracle that I lived that day. It was a miracle that my dad pulled me out. It was a miracle that I made it to the hospital, as we were in an isolated area with cell towers down, and one of my lungs was steadily filling with blood. But I did live. I made it to the hospital, and as I lay in the hospital bed, I began to think about what this new life meant, what this new environment, this new condition meant for me, and what was my purpose in it. You know, how am I still to have this good and prosperous life? As I was in the hospital for 10 days or so, not being able to move, I had to have nurses roll me over in bed and help sit up and stuff like that. After the 10 days, I went off to rehab. In rehab, I was there 4.5 weeks. It was a grueling 4.5 weeks of just learning this new body, adapting to my new situation that was bound to a wheelchair. And so slowly over time, I began to learn how to transfer in and out of my chair, how to dress myself, how to even get up and down stairs, how to push around and things like that. So learning new ways to how to live with this body that I now have. It was a difficult time, but it was definitely a way that helped me to grow as a person and helped to give me new life. In times of these changes, there's definitely people around you or things that help to support those times. This could be family. It could be friends at different areas of your life and different segments of your life, whether it's high school or undergraduate or grad school. It could also be teammates. I played on the wheelchair basketball team here for 5 years, and the teammates was more like a brotherhood to me. And during that time, I was able to play an adapted sport called wheelchair basketball. It could also be significant others, people that are there for you that aren't going anywhere. Another thing for me was faith. Faith was a big part of my support system that kind of helped me get through those times. What I needed when I was laying in that hospital bed was a word like this: "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Because what I needed during that time was hope. Hope that I will prosper. Hope that I did have a future, a good life ahead of me. Another part of that was in Romans, talking about how suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. And those were the incremental changes that were occurring that I couldn't see at the time, that was developing my character, that was developing a perseverance in me, that was developing hope. So a few things about how adapting applies to my work as a grad student. I am a teacher in grad school. I teach personal health 3 days a week, and so I'm constantly adapting to the environment of my classroom. This could be from just the different classes, whether you have people that are talkative and love to discuss things and are interactive and things like that, or just people that like to talk and sit in the back. Very disruptive. You know who you are. I see you in here. Teaching is definitely a great experience to learn how to become a better teacher, the different modes of teaching that they are. I have my students take a learning styles test. This learning styles test just gives them what they are good at learning. I'm able to see that, to try to incorporate that in the classroom setting. Also have them take a personality test to see what kind of personalities are out there, to try to also incorporate that in my teaching. A mentor here told me at UA that a person who continues to do the same thing, a teacher that continues to do the same thing year after year, is not a good teacher. A teacher that takes time at the end of the year to sit back and reflect and see what they can do to become a better teacher, how to change something, one that changes and continues to adapt, is a good teacher. Another thing I do is personal training. I'm a personal trainer at the rec, and personal training is huge when it comes to how the body adapts, whether it's strength training and you're trying to increase your bench press or something like that. Your body adapts to that weight that you use, and the way it responds to that is it gets stronger, and so you increase the weight. Same with cardiorespiratory fitness. You run for 15 minutes, and your body reacts by becoming more proficient at pumping blood and the lungs taking in oxygen and oxygenating the body. In personal training, it also is adapting to the individual. For the individuals that I train someone that has mono, and so for this person, I have to scale back the workouts because those high-intensity workouts can suppress the immune system. And so we have to keep the workouts that are still beneficial, yet aren't those high-intensity workouts. So scaling those back. Also training individuals that are older. These individuals that have pains and ailments that they've dealt with through life. And so not to kind of push those ailments or those pains or those aches off, but to help to strengthen those, and so that they can reduce their pain, so they can be stronger and more stable. As a personal trainer, my interest comes a lot from, as a kid, I started lifting weights with my dad at 11, 12 years old. I was very active in sports and loved lifting weights in the gym. And so for me, having to adapt in the gym was huge. It was a very slow process. It was started from me being in my chair, learning how to lift weights while I was in my chair, to eventually transferring out of my chair. So today, if you see me in the gym, I'm all over the place. I'm constantly going from the pull-up bars over to the bench press, over to the dumbbells, just because my body has adapted and I've been able to learn how to maneuver around and to change out in and out of chairs and develop workouts, which leads me to the next part, which is my research. A survey that I recently conducted was with wheelchair basketball athletes. I asked them about various health topics that they think are important to be included on a website. The end goal of this research is to develop a website for individuals with disabilities that focuses on exercise and nutrition, both for the population that live a sedentary lifestyle, the general population of individuals with disabilities, and trying to increase their physical activity, as well as the athletes that are at the highest competitive level and are looking to get that edge on their performance. It's very difficult to try to figure out ways to work out when you're in a chair and to have that high intensity workout. And so that's what I hope to do, and that's what I've been developing for that. Some of the discussion questions that I want to leave you with tonight is, what are you currently adapting? Are you adapting to a situation? Are you new in college? Are you about to enter the workforce? Are you newly getting married? What are you adapting to, and who are those support systems that are around you, or what are those support systems that are around you are helping that? This has been my story on adaptation. What is yours? Thank you.